Debbie and I are here for our Friday roundup, but you'll notice our format is a little different. Normally we sit immediately, but we decided to rearrange the table. And also, I mean, this was also here yesterday, but I didn't take any note of it. Notice our new backdrop, your idea.
Yeah. I thought it'd be kind of cool to have the poster now. In when you're alone, we don't have the poster, just the backdrop. But we figured this way people can see the poster. It'd be kind of cool.
Well,
not to mention the thumbnail has the poster. So.
We're right on the verge of releasing Police State on Monday, the first day in the theater. In fact, you can be the first to see the movie. And that's even before the virtual premiere, even before the our official premiere, which is...
Our hometown is sold out.
Our hometown is sold out. A bunch of theaters are sold out. There's still tickets available, though. So if you can, but you got to go. Move, get them today, get them this weekend. And as I've said before, this is a movie we make for the theater. So in other words, it's very cinematic. You can see it in other formats. It works well, but the theater is a kind of a unique experience. So try to go, if you can, go to policestatefilm.net. That's the website, policestatefilm.net. Should mention you cannot get tickets from Fandango or from the theater. Don't just go to the theater saying, I'll buy a ticket when I get there. No, you won't be able to buy a ticket. Why? Because we have bought out these theaters. And so you buy the tickets online, and then you show up and you present your ticket as normal, and you can watch the movie. Now, if you can't make it to the theater, then you should sign up for the virtual premiere. It's for the same price as the theater ticket, and that's also from policestatefilm.net. We have this cool song by Forgiato Blow, which is the song that's used in the closing credits of the movie, but he's going to perform it live. Then we have the full screening of the movie, and then we have a live Q&A with Dan Bongino and me to follow. This is for the virtual premiere. We're doing it out of this amazing studio in Las Vegas, and it is Friday, October 27th. So, well, we thought we would devote the special episode to just a discussion of some of the key themes related to a police state. Now, maybe I'd start by asking you this question. I mean, I think we both, as immigrants, feel a little surprised that we're making a film called Police State. And but unlike India, which is a society that has a lot of corruption, a lot of poverty, Venezuela has moved in the direction of a police state. And you have really from the time I met you, been warning that, gee, I'm beginning to see some troubling parallels between Venezuela and the United States. So in a sense, you warned against it, but you also saw it coming.
I did see it coming. And I've been following the Venezuelan police state for 2 decades. So it began with people not really knowing who they were voting for or why they were voting, for him. I know that a lot of people don't really understand the politics of Venezuela. And to a certain extent, it's understandable. Obviously, it's South America. Nobody really cares about any other country but America. But because I have roots in Venezuela, I was born there, I still have family there, I followed it very closely. And in 1999, when Hugo Chavez won the election, he won it democratically. People went out and voted for him. He campaigned as a no-nonsense person, a politician that was not going to be your typical politician. He ran on anti-corruption, but he didn't run on anti-capitalism. And a lot of people assume that Hugo Chavez was a socialist from the get-go, but he didn't form the Socialist Party of Venezuela till way later. Probably almost a decade later. So he ran as a centrist, really. And so my grandparents were fooled into voting for him because they thought, Venezuela has had a lot of corruption. They didn't really have a right-wing party and a left-wing party like we do here. It was more center-left, center-right. Still very similar to the Republican Party platform and the Democratic Party platform, but a little bit closer to the middle. And but there are people that argue that even the right-wing party was secret communists. I mean, there's a lot of people that say that, and even to this day, there is a coalition of right-wingers that say Venezuela has never had a true right-wing representation.
Yeah,
and so these are like the MAGA types, in Venezuela, and they have some in Argentina, as we've seen, and they have some in Brazil. But the police state began when people woke up to Hugo Chavez and decided that that was not what they wanted in their country. And so they were against the regime. And essentially, the boot was stamped on their forehead.
To put down the newly awakened Venezuelan majority that was now resisting Hugo Chavez.
Exactly.
And then you're saying it's remained intact, and in some ways they've now, the police state now in Venezuela is supported by external forces.
Exactly.
Russia, China, Iran, all of them propping up so that it's even if you have a majority against Maduro, the majority is now contending against these outside powers.
Yes, and they are propping him up. They are giving him money. So even the sanctions that we made don't really matter much, because they get money from Iran, they get money from Russia, they get money from China. And, as I told you a couple weeks ago, Hezbollah is very, very present in the Venezuelan government.
The reason the Venezuelan example is important, I think, is because traditionally police states are established by a revolutionary military or violent overthrow of the government. Castro took power by overthrowing Batista, established a police state. Lenin led the Bolsheviks into a rebellion against the Tsar, pushed away all the other parties. They took power by force. Mao, of course, came to power the same way. Pol Pot in Cambodia. So the Venezuelan example is interesting because you have a society that democratically made this transition, at least democratically initially. Now you say the first one.
The first election has been the only legitimate election in Venezuela in 2 decades.
Right, which raises a point people should be aware of, and that is that part of what police states do is rig elections. During times of economic uncertainty and political upheaval, it's crucial to have a reliable source of financial guidance and insight. This is where Dr. Kirk Elliott, PhD, and his esteemed wealth management advisory firm come into play. Dr. Kirk Elliott has distinguished himself with 2 PhDs in economics and theology. He's built a reputation in expert financial solutions tailored to your unique needs. His firm specializes in wealth management, offering a comprehensive array of services to protect and grow your assets in an ever-changing world. In an environment filled with economic volatility and shifting political landscapes, right now, finding a trusted partner during these challenges is essential. Dr. Elliott's firm employs cutting-edge strategies and an understanding of the markets to guide you toward financial success. Go to KirkElliottPhD.com. That's Kirk Elliott, Elliott with 2 L's and 2 T's, KirkElliottPhD.com/Dinesh. Book an appointment. They will walk you through their process about investing. That's KirkElliottPhD.com/Dinesh, or you can call or text. Here's the number, 720-605-3900.